All right, guys. So today we will be discussing about Juan Ling and some of her kit analysis and also her best teams. Okay, and we will see like if she's worth pulling or not. Okay, this video is from God Dogo's wuwa. Okay, this is a good video about Juan Ling, so I will share it with you guys, and I will also share my own opinions too. Okay, so let's see what we have here.
Up for summary, Yang Xuanling is a Havoc element sword user, with her main role being a heavy attack damage main damage dealer that utilizes and inflicts Havoc Bane to buff herself and do even more damage.
So the thing is that like what I really heard of is that she can inflict like a lot of Havoc Bane stacks, and she can increase her damage, and also enemies will receive more damage. Okay, so it means that after the cycle ends, after like she switches off the field, okay, the thing is that all like the sub DPS that you will be switching onto like into the field like in the second cycle, he will deal like they will deal like more damage, okay, as time goes on. Okay, so that's like a really good thing about her kit.
She has a variety of resonant skills and combos that is honestly pretty straightforward, where all of them will point towards allowing her to do a lot of heavy attack damage while inflicting Havoc Bane and turning them into good buffs for herself. With her intro skill, she's able to inflict 1 stack of Havoc Bane. Her heavy attack will be able to apply 2 stacks of Havoc Bane. Her basic is able to apply some as well, and on top of that, with her inherent skill, 1 life 1 blade, she can apply 6 stacks of Havoc Bane when certain conditions are met and when she uses resonant skill. She even has a propagate effect for the highest stack count of Havoc Bane on targets via her refrain ability in her forte, which all in all means Yang is able to inflict a bunch of Havoc Bane and still has decent target switch ability by just propagating the highest stack count to another target by utilizing her other inherent skill.
By the way, like that's really good, but about like utilizing like the highest stack count to the another target. Why? Because like the thing is that you know that Amieth needed like the S1, right? She needs the S1 to do that. Okay, you need to pull a dupe. Okay, but here like she already has that, which is really good.
Unbroken Vow, Yang is able to gain up to 30% damage amp if the target has 1 to 3 stacks of Havoc Bane, and up to 36% damage amp if the target has 4 to 6 stacks of Havoc Bane. There's various mechanics as well that adds to her own stats or damage output in her combo and general rotation, which means you can consider Yang as a main damage dealer that inflicts Havoc Bane, buffs herself because of it, nukes heavy with heavy attack damage in her rotation. Yang's outro skill though is able to do decent damage, and not only that, she's able to provide the tonal switch effect for all other allies. And when the allies with this tonal switch effect inflicts Havoc Bane, that resonator's Havoc damage is amplified by 20%.
Okay, so the thing is that probably like the team composition, like we'll go for the team composition, but the thing is that if she like can increase the Havoc damage, it means that Chiza will have an increase in Havoc damage, and also like any sub DPS that we will be using with Juan Ling.
Speaks of Yang perhaps being able to be played in a pure Havoc Bane team. With all that said, Yang Xuanling seems to be in, well, as I mentioned, similar to Hiyuki, right? And the easiest way to put it, it's with the Havoc Bane equivalent to what Hiyuki would do. Yang's own kit is designed to inflict and work with Havoc Bane, much like Hiyuki is with Glacier Che. This already means Yang will always require Chisa, at least at the moment, similar to how Chisa is pretty much one of the best, if not the best option for a lot of negative status options. For example, with Hiyuki, especially after the addition of Lucilla to complete that team, Chisa is the character that is best in slot for that squad too.
Bro, like I can't believe like Chisa right now she has many uses, so yeah, we need like to just like see like what like the best or like the best optimized teams that we can use, because like you know on the end game matrix you can use Chiza 2 times. I think in the next update we can use Chiza 2 times. Okay, she has 2 points. So we need like to just like manage like how teams are used.
Of Chisa with Yang is solidified even more when you consider Chisa herself is the only other character that can also inflict Havoc Bane in the whole game right now. On top of just being like the best third slot support for negative status mostly anyway. Based on rumors, you can expect Yang's numbers to be quite solid. In fact, enough to match top tier teams. But I do have to say, Yang seems to currently be incredibly incomplete yet. It's in the same direction of Hiyuki when she was first released. Hiyuki didn't have the Lucilla sub DPS / support that's fully designed to complete her team and max.
Well, about the teams, I will like when we go for the teams, okay, I will tell you like my opinion about like what a good team you can use with Juan Ling.
maximize her inherent skill. Yang Yang here is pretty much the same. While she wants Chisa at her side, she doesn't quite have that second slot Havoc Bane character or suitable characters there yet. It's not saying you can't use her right now, it's just that she's not really completed. But in any case, that also possibly hints at in the future, we'll have someone that's purely designed to really support Yang Yang in that slot being released soon. Okay. And speaking of soon, to just lightly touch on Sui Sui, which is the phase 2 character we'll be having, she's said to be a Glacial Shave character in the live stream, but she's also said to be able to buff her allies in the live stream sort of just generally, right? They didn't
Like,
mention what
the thing is that Sui Sui like is like shorekeeper, by the way. She deploys like a field, okay, and I think like she can. I don't know like if she can like increase critical rate and critical damage. I don't know, but the thing is that she can increase like the number of stacks, okay, of the dots, the Havoc Bane and everything, and she can also like utilize like those dots to deal like increased damage to the enemies. But the thing is that I don't know like if Sui Sui will be a good like support for Juan Ling, okay? I think like Chiza will still be the better one, okay? But the thing is that Sui Sui will probably be a good support for the Thunder Dot, okay? Electric Dot, which is the what's I don't know like it's Sin, okay? The Sin character that will come like maybe on the version 3.7. She's a Sentinel, and she will have the Electric Dot too, the Electro Flare. So probably she will be a good teammate for her.
buffs are though. Depending on what the buffs are, Sui Sui might just be the other ally in a Yang Yang team along with Chisa. Kuro games tend to release the full team archetype at once or close
I'm not
to.
seeing. I don't know, bro. Like I'm not seeing that. Like Chisa and Sui Sui, like they are both like healers, sustainers. I don't see like they will be used like together with Juan Ling, okay, but we'll see like how that team goes, because like it depends on how much like Sui Sui will buff Chiza's damage, and also like we will see like how much like Chiza can do damage in that team if Chiza will work as a sub DPS.
At once, so perhaps Yang Yang and Sui Sui is meant to be used together. It might also be the case of Yang Yang's true support will be released, say, 1 or 2 updates after her own banner, which is still recent. So the more important takeaway here is if you do pull Yang Yang, you may want to make sure you have enough to pull whoever that completes her team. Or at the very least, you should wait for the profile reveal of Sui Sui first, and then decide if Sui Sui is good enough for, say, you to skip Yang Yang. In any case though, to just touch on the best teams for Yang Yang, it'll likely not exist yet, the perfect team right now, but essentially Yang Yang and Chisa will be a duo locked together right now, as they're both Havoc Bane characters. The other slot can currently be any general supports or heavy attack damage supports that could aid Yang Yang generally, but chances are you want to prepare for needing to pull another character designed to fully complete the team for Yang Yang. That seems to be pattern for Kuro games, where the whole team gets released, archetype after archetype, and one team gets completed until the next team gets completed, right? So to be really efficient, you have to plan for pulling the whole team.
Well, it doesn't mean like if Juan Ling is like on the banner right now and next will come Sui Sui, it doesn't mean that they will both work together like 100%. Okay, so maybe they will release a character later on, okay, that will work with Juan Ling. Okay, but I don't see that Sui Sui is really like is like it will, like she will be like a teammate for Sui. I don't see that. Okay.
Team and not just one character. Now, in terms of a conclusion though, I think Yang Yang will actually be one of the strongest character or team archetype in the game, similar to the level of Hiyuki and Amab. At least based on available patterns, Hiyuki and Amab are both capable of just being the negative status queens of their own elements, and Yang Yang seems to be exactly that for the Havoc element. Honestly, from back in the day when we saw Chisa's release, we could already deduce that eventually Kuro Games will have a negative status team released for every single element, and that pattern seems correct now, where all the negative status characters are just building their own team, being one of the strongest in the games, and now it's time for the Havoc element to shine with Yang Yang. I won't lie as well, the Havoc element has not had the strongest look, so it's about time for the symbol of Havoc to take the stage in the shape of Yang Yang Xuanling. The pros of getting Yang Yang is that chances are she's pretty strong with the numbers, being able to keep up with top tier teams, or maybe even overtake them, since she would be considered.
I can see like she will be good on wuwa too. I can see like she does like lots of AoE damage. So yeah, like I think she will be tier 0 there.
Fast fairly new right now, even compared to the likes of Amat. The newer characters tend to be strong, right? One more thing to think about would be the potential of another character that could take the slot of Chisa even as a negative status buffer. I bet Kuro realizes as well that the number of teams that will want Chisa is going to only get more and more, with so many different elements having negative status teams. If they release an upper level of Chisa and a custom support for Yang Yang, that team will probably be incredibly strong. And that team might see their completion near the end of the whole version 3. There's also the chance Sui Sui is just the one to complete the team though. We'll see what she does near her profile reveal.
Thing is that for me, okay, I have Frolova, okay? Frolova, I think like right now she will be like the best sub DPS for Juan okay? Why? First of all, Frolova does follow up attacks like you guys know, okay? And also, okay, Frolova has a really good outro skill that really fits, okay, Juan like perfectly, okay? Which is like she buffs Havoc damage and also heavy attack damage, okay? So I'm really excited to see like how Frolova will work with Juan and how like the damage and how much like the damage will be, because Chiza, Frolova, Juan I think like that will be like a really interesting team. Okay, like my recommendation for you guys, like if you don't have Frolova, okay, I don't recommend you to pull Juan. Okay, that's like my opinion. Okay, I just like the thing is that if you don't have Frolova, just like wait, okay, a bit so you can see like because like look probably when the sub DPS for Juan releases, okay, probably Juan will be rerun with that sub DPS. Okay, so no rush. Okay, you can just like skip the banner. But if you have Frolova, well, I guess like I guess Juan will like the team, her team like will work like pretty well. Okay, so that's like my opinion about this. Okay, so yeah, guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching that video.